I think it's rolling. You guys ready to start?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Sock It To Me. I'm Seamus.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Ben.
And we're just three college kids that love design enough to talk about it in a podcast. And this is our podcast, Sock It To Me, that we just formed for just for funsies, and we just talk about stuff like life and design and all that kind of jazz. How your guys' day going today?
It's going pretty good. Just had some noodles.
Oh yeah, what did you eat at noodles?
I had some mac and cheese and some garlic stuff. What about you? Huh?
I had pot stickers and
yeah.
mac and cheese.
Oh, I'm actually kind of lactose intolerant, so I can't eat cheese that much. But I heard it's really good, obviously because we're in Wisconsin. So I mean, the mac and cheese is probably pretty good.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we probably get right into it. What do you guys? I think my first kind of topic that I want to talk about today was symbols in design, and I think that's kind of interesting because you see so many symbols in the world, and they're not always the same, and there's not really a universal symbol for everyone. I think that people can't like learn or kind of apply to the same areas of life in different parts of the world, different cultures. What do you guys think about that?
I think a symbol that like everybody could relate to is most likely like the peace symbol that we see everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was more popular like in the 70s and 80s, but nowadays it's more modernized, and we have like other symbols that kind of just stand for just like separate groups. But I think the peace symbol stands for everybody, since what it's like based off of, kind of.
That being said, like, does every country in the world look at the peace symbol the same way as we do here, or is that an American thing?
That's an interesting question. I'm not sure about that because I think that especially with the peace symbol being so prevalent in our culture and society, that if you were to take it somewhere else, different part of the world, I'm not sure if people would know what that would mean, or it's just like a bunch of lines in a circle. I don't know if that has a different meaning somewhere else, or
Or even if they do know what it means, since it's such a big part of like our culture, do they look at it in a negative way if they have negative opinions or feelings towards our culture and the kind of ways that we use the peace symbol and what peace is to us?
Yeah.
Well, I just wouldn't think they would do that. I wouldn't think they would think negatively of it just because they don't know what it means.
Well, maybe they do know what it means, but they just think negatively of the people using it. So, or how we use it, like, not like what is peace to America the same as peace to these third world countries, or a country that we consider like an enemy or a rival or something.
And not understanding symbols is something that I think happens here too, and the dislike of symbols, I think, is something that a lot of people can kind of relate to, especially. I've kind of seen a lot of these, hoboglyphs is what they call them around,
Hoboglyphs.
Hoboglyphs, yeah, and in urban cities and the urban areas, and they're kind of, this like almost secret language of homeless and nomad peoples.
Oh, cool.
That, they just kind of use them to kind of communicate as, a form to stay safe and get around and travel. And that's kind of something that I think that people don't really recognize, and also don't really like sometimes, is when they see those, they kind of think of, it being a secret, secret society or language, or something that, I think people have negative connotation to homeless people anyway. So that language and those symbols and forms that they see on, they're usually spray and painted on like trash cans or buildings or different buildings and windows and things like that. So I think that kind of also correlates it to graffiti and things like that. So there's very like a harsh connotation to homeless and their symbols in that kind of sense. I don't know if you guys have seen those before or anything, but
I haven't in person, at least. I've seen images and stuff, just scrolling through the internet and stuff.
And I kind of wonder, like, are those still used as much today as they were at some point? Because I know they were a bigger thing at another point in time. Like, is that still a commonly used form of communication between homos, or is that not really a thing that they do anymore?
Yeah, I would think that it's still being used, but maybe on a lesser spectrum, or maybe even a different scale entirely. You mentioned it being on a bigger scale in a different time period. I believe it was the 60s or 70s, where homelessness was a huge problem, and it's just kind of they needed that to survive. And now that the fact that I'm talking about it with you guys now is kind of crazy because it's not a secret anymore. It's like it's out there and people know about it and know what these symbols mean and can kind of form their own opinions and be a part of this almost secret language is what it was supposed to be. So I think that maybe now in today's world or standard that there is almost a new hopoglyph system that we don't know about. And I was thinking that's really interesting. I would love to kind of not know it personally, but know more about it and hopefully like keep it from being exploited as I think the first round of hopoglyphs were, because I think those are kind of seen as as knowing them and that obviously defeats the purpose of a secret language or survival language.
It almost makes you wonder what other kind of survival languages, alphabets, symbols, whatever might be out there, because if we aren't supposed to know them, maybe we don't know them all. I'm sure there's plenty of things that have never been discovered by anyone outside of the group they were made for or aren't just broadly known.
Oh yeah, like for all we know, like some sidewalk chalk that we think like a kid drew is actually some secret code.
Yeah, I mean, you think about like the what are those things called in the caves with the mammoths and like when you think of
Petroglyphs.
The what?
Petroglyphs.
The petroglyphs.
Yeah.
So when you think of the petroglyphs, like I think a lot of people think of those as like kind of like all these fascinating stories or drawings from people that are indigenous and uneducated and kind of like just kind of putting them there. But I mean, we don't really know what the point of those or the meaning of those are because obviously we're not from like the early BC or AD. So that's I think that's kind of interesting. Your point of not really knowing what means what or why it's there is something that I think we can't ever really know, especially with things from that far back. And
Oh, you dropped something over there?
You dropped something over there, buddy?
Yeah, my bad.
Okay, go down and get it. Okay. But anyway, I mean, so this is a good conversation I'm feeling going on, but I think now it's our time for our first sponsor. Today's one of our sponsors, I got this email last night, is Gatorade. Gatorade. We got sponsored by Gatorade, everybody. So, or is it?
It's Powerade.
Powerade.
Oh,
Powerade. I'm so sorry.
I'm
so sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry, Powerade. I actually meant Powerade, not Gatorade.
You can sponsor two of us.
It's sponsored. Powerade sponsored us, and so they're paying for a portion of this episode, and we're gonna So thank you, Powerade. Powerade, drink the drink, feel the feels. All right, there we go.
And if you want to reach out to us and sponsor any of us on a future episode, you can just email our contact info at
Sakatumi@yahoo.com.
Yep,
We're just starting off here, so we're figuring that out still.
We're a startup.
You wanna try that Powerade over there?
Oh yeah, sure.
That's pretty good.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
How was the flavor?
How was it?
It's like white cherry, man.
White
I think
cherry.
you dropped it. I think you.
Oh, did I? No, I'll get it later.
You might need
Yeah.
All right,
That's
all right.
okay.
All right, on to our next topic or portion of this episode. What do you guys think of Ben? I know you're a big photographer. What do you like about photography?
I don't know. I just like being able to express what I'm into. I really like taking pictures of like nature and just like kind of common life kind of thing. Like things you can really like see just on your everyday thing, but then you don't really like look at it like too much. Like something that'll like blow your mind, but it's something that's just so simple.
Right.
How do you feel about editing photography?
Ooh, personally, not a fan. Not a fan.
Why?
Just because I feel like you're tainting the image. I feel like you're just like, I don't know.
Don't say I don't know. You know who'll come in here.
Oh yeah,
Careful.
I feel like it just taints the image, and it's not. It takes away from like the true nature of it.
Mm.
But wait. When you take the image, aren't you already taking away the true nature of it by being there?
Oh, see that they asking the philosophical questions now.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say so. Just because you're documenting it, I feel like.
But you're choosing what you're taking a picture of, what angle you're taking the picture from.
Yeah, you're documenting
stuff
the
like
beauty
that.
of this thing.
so I'm assuming you got your senior photos taken at some point, right? You know.
Oh yeah.
So did your person give you the option to edit them or not? Like, did they say that? Oh, I can edit them if you want me to, or did they just edit them without your approval?
No.
I think they always just did that. They would just like fix up little things here and there.
I think that's so interesting
Makes-
because the editing portion of just like photographies and especially self portraits, like the need to be perfect and look perfect for this one time in your life when you're a senior in high school graduating. It's like that almost is very like ritualistic and yeah, I think that also like taints the experience of, because I know a lot of people that personally that like got their senior photos taken and then changed completely within the next month before graduating and they hated their photos. And even like people that just like, you know, edit them so much and it's like, I do not look like that in person. And you know, it's just kind of like a weird situation. But my person that did my senior photos gave me the option to edit them and was like brought me in to look at the edits that they made and really like okay them. I think that was really nice of her to do, because I think that not a lot of people do that when they're photographers. They kind of just do it, you know, because they think they have the means and the you know, strength to. So
Yeah. I mean, with mine personally, mine were not edited. I maybe he like changed the lighting maybe, but otherwise like he didn't change my figure or anything. He didn't change any of that.
Yeah, I think it's not the figure. It's like little like
the
blemishes on your
contrast, yeah,
face or whatever.
yeah.
Like they just like
Oh yeah, he
Do
kept
some
all
of that
that in.
hues, saturate, like all that kind of like very like.
just make it look nicer.
I wanted to look all natural.
One thing that kind of ties to this is I don't know if you've seen the Google Pixel ads recently. They've been kind of getting some fire in the media because their new phone has like a True Tone face feature that like apparently recognizes all these different kind of skin tones and matches them perfectly when on a camera when other cameras can't do that, you know, obviously. So it's like, but then something happened where it was only picking up certain types of colored skin with like different, like it did not look the same in like other phones, but it was very weird. I don't know how to describe what I'm saying, but it like they got a lot of slack or they got a lot of like fire for that because it was like it seems kind of racially problematic, but obviously it's a phone and technology, so it's not like obviously anyone's fault. It's maybe like the software was just kind of messed up, but I think that's kind of interesting too because like we think about photographs as documentation and representation of people especially when you do portraits, and this like phone was saying that it could recognize all these different types of skin colors and match them perfectly when it couldn't, and I think that's a big promise to make, especially from a company like Google, you know.
Well, yeah, you think they'd be careful and test the crap out of it to make sure that it works perfectly. Like they have so many resources. Like why would it not work perfectly?
Yeah.
Like that's something that I feel like they should be able to do. Especially if they
billions
said-
of dollars and everything.
Right. Yeah, I think on a show that I was watching, I think this was fake, but it kind of tells on this topic too. Was it dealt with I think facial recognition, and actually this might be real. I'm not too sure, but it dealt with facial recognition in a company's like security kind of aspect, like a second authenticator kind of thing, and monkeys could get in because obviously it was like kind of like replacing black people with monkeys, and it was like, oh yeah, this looks like a black person, but it's just a monkey.
Oh my god.
So that was like very bad, but I can't remember if that was a show for real life, but I could look into that for the next episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, you know, photography in general, I think is just a crazy topic.
Yeah, hold on. Ben, you doing okay over there? You seem like you're leaning over a little
Yes.
bit. You had a
Straighten
rough
up,
night
man.
last night?
Straighten up, Brian.
Come on, wake up, man. Come on.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh gosh, okay. Anyways, yeah, so I think that, let me look at my questions on the computer here for photography. Let me see. Speaking of edited photographs, do you guys think there's such thing as a non-edited photograph? I know Ben said that he loves like the raw nature of photography and kind of just like, you know, taking a moment and capturing a moment and just like in its raw, you know, beauty. But do you really think that there's a thing such as like an untampered or uncomposed photograph?
No.
Ben?
I guess no as well.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing, you're choosing where the camera is, where the light, what time of day, what the like angle is, what you're taking the photo of. It's coming from your perspective. It's your photo. It's not nature's photo.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. There's this huge debate of, you know, composed photographs versus like non-composed photographs and what that kind of means and entails. But when you get down to the bare bones of it, you're always composing a photograph no matter what you're doing, even if you're trying to. Like, I think there's an experiment of taking, you know, random photographs, like randomly. It's just like, you know, maybe in your pocket or you just pull out and shoot, you know, but those are still composed to be random. You know, you're premeditating where you're gonna pull it out, and you're premeditating, you know, this time frame of taking the shot and where you're at, and I think that still counts as a composition in a sense, because you're not just, there's no way to not compose something when you're using a digital media like photography that captures a moment in its, you know, in its moment. You know, there's history there, and there's, you know, there's life there, and it's there forever once you capture it, so it's composed like that.
Well, do you think whether like digital photography or like, oh my God, what's the other one? Digital or
Analog?
Analog.
Like regular photography?
yeah. I'm just, I don't know.
Film photography?
Film. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Do you think that's any different than like editing? Because you can edit pictures and stuff, or your photographs from like film photography. You can, like, when you're making it in the dark room and stuff.
What, like, oh, you mean like edit them while you're developing them?
Yeah. Like, do you think that's any different than like slightly changing them, or not even like supposedly editing them in like digital photography?
I don't think it's. I think it's just an old way of doing the new thing, which is digital.
Yeah, old dog, new tricks, you know.
Oh,
Old dog, same tricks, I mean.
Yeah, new dog, same tricks.
New dog, same tricks, yeah.
I think that's what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Another thing about photography that I wanted to mention is nature and photography.
Oh, nature photography.
So, what is nature photography?
Oh boy. Well, that's a good question, because I'm currently in a wildlife class that is just, you know, terrible for me, because I do not enjoy NRES classes. You know, being an art student, it's kind of just hard to get into that. But this was a topic that we covered, and there are surprisingly a lot of rules that, you know, that determine what nature photography is. And I think that is something that I never thought about and never thought that mattered, but apparently it does to a lot of people, because, you know, you would think that taking, you know, let's say Ben went up to an eagle and wanted to take a photo of it. He just walked up to that eagle. It's in a tree, obviously. He's on the ground, and he walked up to it. You know, got real close, got real personal. Maybe climbed the tree. Maybe just doing all this weird stuff. And he just pulls out his phone or camera or whatever and takes a photo of the eagle. They were arguing that that's not wildlife photography. That's, you know, unethical and just not right for the animal itself, because I think that wildlife photography is all about making sure the animal's safe and in its own habitat and in its own, you know, like it almost is like giving the animal like priority, and that's, you know, that's always good, because wildlife, you know, deserves to be like protected and, you know, respected. But it seems a lot like handling photography in the same sense as handling photography with people, like how it's frowned upon to be taking photos of people in public when they might not like that, or without like consent. But that's kind of how they're viewing it as with animals, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I was going to add to that, because I'm in animal ethics.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah. So we just dive a little deeper into that whole situation, and we would describe it as like you're invading like the animal's space, because that'd be like if a bear like walked into your house and just decided to start eating your food.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like that.
Yeah, the only Bears in my house are the Chicago Bears, on every Sunday for football.
Oh yeah.
Even though I don't watch football.
Yeah. That's why they're not on every Sunday.
That's why they're not on every Sunday.
Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between, is a squirrel on the side of a building, is that the squirrel in its natural habitat then?
No. So I think like what they wanted you to do was, because they also have these weird rules where you can't follow it to its natural habitat, like its home. Like, let's say Ben was at that same eagle,
Of course.
he wouldn't be allowed to follow that eagle to its nest. That's frowned upon, and people like think you should not do that because obviously again you're entering their home. But I think what it means, like when you come down to it, is you want to be in the woods obviously with that eagle and not like bring it or lure it anywhere else to where you could take a photo of it like perfectly. So let's say Ben had like a mouse or like a handful of dead mice, and he placed them in this like field of beautiful flowers, and he was hoping an eagle would come down, swoop, and eat the mice so he could take a photo right next to it.
Classic Ben.
Classic Ben. That would be terrible, just absolutely terrible. And when you're considering animal ethics, because that's you're luring the animal, you're provoking the animal, you're not considering the animal, you're bending it to your rules and your modification, your lifestyle, when it should be the other way around, is what I think they're trying to say. But the squirrel in the building, yeah, when you got squirrels all around that live in urban and rural areas that even this campus, USP, they have squirrels everywhere. I think some people see them like hopping in and out of trash cans. That's not obviously the best thing ever. And I think there's actually a USP squirrels Instagram page. Might throw that up on screen. But anyway. But I think that's kind of different than domestic and wild wildlife when you get down to that. But the squirrels and eagles aren't the same thing, obviously. So.
Yeah, so is taking a picture of the same squirrel across the street in Schmeekly, is that nature photography, but then it crosses the street and goes on a building and it's not anymore, even if you don't tamper with it at all? Because I feel like that's the same thing. Like that's just what it does. That's how it lives.
Yeah.
That's in this world. That's how it lives. So then it's like, is taking a photograph of a person is not a photography of like humans, like because that's not what we did originally.
I mean, you could argue that
it's
that
evolved
is-
and adapted. That's what that's how it is. So I feel like that has to be nature for it.
Yeah.
I feel like you could argue that humans like walking just down the street would be nature photography.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're in our natural habitat.
See, I tried saying that too to my professor, and saying that I wanted to take, because we were given an assignment to shoot wildlife photography, and I wanted to go shoot people, not shoot people.
Whoa,
Hey,
oh my God.
I wanted to go, take photos of people in their natural habitat, and he was like, "That's not wildlife photography, buddy." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I get So to answer your question, Ben, no, you cannot do that.
I also
So-
find it funny that I took that same class, and these same people who are like, do not tamper with the wildlife, do not follow them, do not like go near them like too close. Those same people are the same ones who are like, yeah, hunting is great, like go hunt all these endangered species because this one we need to kill this specific one for this or whatever, and it's just like whatever suits them is what they go for. So I kind of feel like their wildlife photography standards are not what we should necessarily look at as
Right.
correct.
Yeah, there should be like some more professional advice going on there. So, anyway, that was a good conversation. I think time for our second sponsor, which is actually me. I got today's episode is also sponsored by Flower Boy, my new album coming out this summer, 2022. Make sure to check it out on all platforms, available soon. You got great hits like McKenna's Pier.
Yeah. Still looking.
Still looking for it. Yeah. You got Flower Boy, obviously. You got Be Better. Meet Me in the Bathroom, but that
Oh,
one's kind of
yeah.
I know Ben likes that one a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
But yeah, that's throw some images on the screen for that, and
I think it's break time.
Yeah, we're taking a break.
I think you can enjoy one of the new songs maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna throw on a snippet of a new song from Flower Boy coming up this summer. So enjoy, and we'll be right back in a jiff.
Epic.
Flower boy, won't you come around? Flower boy, I plucked you from the ground. With your head in the sky and your feet in the mud. How you gonna stretch your petals to the sun when you're tied down? When you're tied down, I saved you from the storm.
All right, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome.
How'd you like that Flower Boy song?
Amazing.
Oh, thank
Album of the
Relaxing,
year.
I tell
Album of the
you.
year.
Thank
Calling
you.
it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's hard work, hard play. You know what I say?
Post Malone, who?
Yeah, Post Malone.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Anyways.
Yeah. I mean, welcome back to the Sock It To Me
Sock It
with
To Me.
Seamus, Nate, and Ben, and we're just gonna jump right back into it. So, we are all graphic design students here at UWSP, but there's been some change in the coursework recently, and the faculty, yes, but more importantly, the coursework. There's a change in system and kind of running of classes and how they're set up. So what do you guys? I kind of want to talk about the foundations and kind of rules of graphic design that we were required to learn that maybe other people aren't now, or how it's changing, and kind of touch on that. So I don't know if you guys have a favorite rule or something that like kind of stuck out to you when you were learning graphic design at first that sticks with you now, that you kind of hold on to as one of the first rules or major rules of graphic design that you know and use today.
Contrast. That's one thing I can never forget.
Yeah.
Color contrast, brightness contrast, that kind of thing. Some I've had to deal with a lot.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
first year, especially, and some this year too. But I think that's really important to learn, obviously, and I think I've improved in that category. What do you have, Ben?
I would say, probably what I still need to work on is probably like hierarchy. I mean, it's not hard to come up with hierarchy. It's hard with coming up with like more than like 5 layers on one small document kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say mine is probably grid. I absolutely despise grid systems with a passion. They just, it makes sense when you're learning things, but when I want to be expressive or creative, it feels like the grid really, ties me into something that I don't want to have to use or be restricted by. But yeah, I agree that kind of hierarchy and contrast are also important things. And, I think that these are, I guess my next question on this would be, do you think that you have to know these rules to be a good graphic designer? Do you have to know contrast? Do you have to know hierarchy skills or layouts or levels? And do you have to know how to use a grid system or layout system in a certain area, to be a good graphic designer?
I think that's kind of, in my opinion, I think knowing things like this that's what makes the difference between graphic design and more of like graphic arts, which is already a fine line, kind of.
Yeah.
But I think the fine art is the more or the graphic art kind of thing is more expressive, and your kind of work as graphic design, you're creating for someone for something, most likely.
Right, yeah. Ben?
Ben?
Ben? Ben,
Ben's having a moment.
you okay, buddy?
Ben, tell us what's going on.
I don't
How
know.
you doing?
I was just thinking.
Wait, did you say I don't know?
I was.
Yeah.
I was
Careful,
deep in
careful.
thought. I swear.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Did you forget the question? Is
I
that...
did. Yeah, I did.
Okay, so
Oh.
the question is, do you think that like you have to know the rules of graphic design to be a good graphic designer?
No,
basically?
no,
Okay, see that.
no. I don't think you do. We've had we've had a few professors that are like self-taught.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a lot of the time online, you can see people's work
Yeah, yeah.
that comes from being self-taught, and it's good.
Yeah,
It's not bad at all. I think you mainly go to school for. We're told you go to school not only to like learn and how to do these things, but you also go to school for like the critiques and the feedback from like your peers and your professors and stuff.
Right.
Also, just I feel like the graduation certificate is a big thing. A lot of places won't hire unless you have it.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Especially in like this area of work.
I think what you said about self-taught, those people are self-taught, but a lot of the times, like my mentor for Matt's internship class, he was self-taught, but he self-taught himself those rules.
Yeah.
He didn't like just ignore them. He doesn't ignore them. You can find grid in his, you can find hierarchy, you can find contrast, you can find all those rules, but he just taught himself. It's not like they don't exist.
Right. I think there's a fine line between like fine arts and design work when it comes to those rules where it's like fine arts you don't really like see a lot of of those rules kind of up front, whereas they might be in the works or behind them or more incorporated into the deeper levels of the fine art. But with graphic design and like design work in general, even IA, like you have to know the no to be able to do it correctly.
To do the do.
To do the do.
Do the no to don't know the do.
You have to do the no to know the do, and do the
Mountain
do
Dew.
to.
Mountain
And that
Dew.
leads us to our third sponsor, Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Yo, do feel the dew. Do
Screw
the dew.
Powerade.
Yeah, screw.
Whoa!
Whoa! They're still a sponsor.
Hey,
They're still
hey.
a sponsor.
I'm kidding.
All right, yeah, Mountain Dew, Baja Blast. You guys like the Baja Blast, right?
Yeah, they're making that new flaming hot flavor.
That sounds disgusting, actually. Oh, God. Yeah, that's our third sponsor, Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, do feel the dew, be the dew.
Do the do.
Find locally at all stores
Quick
near
Trip.
you. All right. Yeah. Oh, is that Matt?
Uh-oh.
Matt.
Oh,
Oh no.
Ben, Nate, Seamus, are you working? Yes. Yeah.
We're doing our podcast.
I don't
right
know.
now.
We're doing our podcast right now, actually. Yeah. Did you just say I don't know, Ben?
Um,
No, I don't think he did. He just left. I don't think.
Oh, thank
I don't
God.
think he liked that. I
Oh,
don't
He
think.
thank
looked a little angry
He
when
looked a
he
little
walked
angry
away.
over there. Yeah.
You might have to talk to him after class.
no, not again.
Not again. Yeah. Oh gosh. All right. Let's go on to the next topic here. After a little visit from our good friend Matthew Groshek. Let's kind of turn to consumerism. Do you guys consume things?
Yeah.
A lot.
We all consume things.
Too much.
Too much, Ben says. Too much.
Ben consumes.
I consume a lot of food, and I also consume a lot of media.
a lot of
and-
products, a lot of
Yeah. I mean,
branding,
Okay.
Yeah.
a lot of design,
A lot of design.
a lot of influence. You get influence, Ben?
I get influenced all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
I guess my question about consumption in general would be, do you think that like brand and good design influences your consumption levels?
Yes.
Yes.
And if,
100%.
and so yes, I think I do too. That is for me too. So like, what are a few of your favorite brands that by design really catch your eye and make you consume it that much?
You go first.
Well, when I think of like brands that catch my eye right away, like I said moments ago, food. Food is what really like catches my eye. The first brand that came to my mind was like Oreos.
Oh, my neck hurts. Sorry, I just got stretched.
You okay?
My neck's just killing me. Sorry.
Okay. I think of Oreos because they have that bright blue like coloring. They have their cookies on there with milk and stuff in the pictures.
I
And they
love
just-
Oreos.
That's just like enticing to the human eye.
Oreos is good design.
Good milk. You know, milk's favorite cookie is what I hear. Yeah.
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 Actually, that leads to our fourth sponsor, Oreos.
Oh.
Oreos, milk's favorite cookie. Find local.
Mountain Dew's favorite cookie?
Find
Oh,
local.
cool.
Find local.
Mountain Dew flavoring, flaming hot Oreos.
Find locally at your gas stations and grocery stores near you.
Oh, my
All right,
back.
continue, Ben. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Nate, you can take it.
Okay.
All right, Oreos, Ben. You're saying.
Look at the camera, Nate. Thank you.
Can't tell what my hair is looking.
Like
Anyway.
looking up at the sky.
All right. Back on track, boys. All right. So yeah, I mean, Oreos is a great one. One that comes up to my mind is Nate should take a break down there. Figure something out. But I would say that one of my favorite. Oh, he's back. One of my favorite brands is Apple. Obviously, I mean, look at
Oh,
me
of
now.
course.
Got
Tesla too,
And Tesla, yeah. I mean, and their design is actually really influential and really cool in my opinion because, think of an Apple ad, you definitely are like influenced by that. The newest one I can think of is the Apple Watch ones where you're just like, a guy falls over in the woods. Or no, it's just a phone call from like the police dispatch. And it's like, oh no, what's your emergency? And it's like, oh no, it doesn't even say because the new watches,
Yeah, it says
they
it
call
forward.
they call for the police for you or the
Oh,
dispatch
cool.
for you, yeah, because if they have a fall sensor in them,
I didn't know that.
see, and
Maybe I
actually,
should invest in Apple.
I mean,
Future
I am.
sponsor?
Future sponsor, hit us up, Apple.
Ooh,
I'm invested in them. I think I have a stock or two in
Oh,
in
cool.
the Apple
Cool.
world. But yeah, Apple's a big one that influences me in my consumption because not only their design work but their use of kind of marketing and almost like power placement because a lot of people talk about the ecosystem when they think of Apple, like the Apple ecosystem in general. You got iOS, you got iMessages, you got I guess that's pretty much it. But FaceTime, and there's really that synchronization between all their products and features that they have, like Apple Music and like I said, FaceTime. But that kind of really it makes it so seamless and so integrated that it's also like very influential to like, oh yeah, I do want something that I can just send, a note from my phone to my computer to my watch to my AirPods. It's like there's just no changing. There's no like it's so seamless, and I think that really grabs me and my attention. But yeah, Nate, do you have a favorite brand or?
I was like thinking about this, right? And I think some things that are prevalent in my life outside of like work and stuff is video games. And I was thinking about how some covers of games or like just like cover screens, since they're like digital now, like really influence me to like buy games or like download them, because it's like I'll see a game and I'm like, oh, that looks like a really like interesting like cover, the trailer looks super interesting, and I'll get it, and then it will be complete garbage.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just that design of like the cover and the trailer and stuff make it look so amazing, and I think that really shows how much design can influence.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Not only I know you're a big album art guy. I think that happens a lot with music industry too, where the album art for music and EPs looks really good, but the music is like terrible. It's like it just like leads you into false hope almost.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I've gone into albums like thinking it's gonna be like a really heavy like metal album, and then I start to play it, and it's like this like 90s sounding like soft metal stuff. And I'm like what is going on?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
completely misleading.
They dupe you. Yeah, that's what happens. I also noticed that too with trailers for movies and video games. I know. I think one of the recent ones I saw was a. Oh, sorry, just bumped you there. Sorry, a little smooch. I think one of my most recent ones was like an Assassin's Creed one I saw, and it was
Yeah.
they look so good on screen, but then obviously the graphics in the game can't run that high as like the trailer is almost like movie quality or like real life quality, where the game is like obviously a video game, so it's very different in that sense.
Yeah. There's one game that I was waiting for a really long time. It was a survival game called Survive the Nights, zombie kind of game, and the trailer was amazing. Everyone was so hyped for it. It looked like super cool, and then the game came out, and it was the worst game I've ever played in my life. It would crash. It would lag all the time. You literally couldn't play it. And 5 years later, it still doesn't look as good as it did in the trailer, even though they've been constantly updating it. It's still like a quarter of how good the trailer looked.
Dang,
It's
it sucks.
ridiculous. And they just get away with that. I mean, they didn't break any law. They just didn't deliver on what they said they would.
Yeah. So do you think that like this whole topic of consumerism and good design and influencing brand and that kind of thing, do you think that only applies to us, or that we notice it more because we are designers or know more about the design field? So I guess my question is, do you think the average person really notices good design and it's influenced by that as well?
I don't know if they notice it consciously, but I think subconsciously they notice it. I think it affects them and what they buy, what they listen to, what they watch, what they play, but they don't think twice about it. They just see it and they're like, oh, that looks good, but
Yeah.
not in a design mindset. I
Right.
guess.
Yeah. Ben, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna add on to that. I feel like they know that. Like if I wasn't into graphic design, I feel like I would obviously know that they're like double stuffed Oreos, for example.
Yeah.
Like it seems like they're enticing you because they're like, oh, you get more of that cream in the middle, so like why wouldn't you want it?
Cream
stuff.
I love double stuff.
Double stuff. Or also our another sponsor, Dream Cream.
Dream
Cream.
I forgot what the tagline is because it's been so long since I have been in
Dreams
it.
that
but-
make cream that
no,
makes you dream.
Yeah, the cream that makes you dream. The cream that makes you. It's a therapeutic, all-natural cream that helps you lucid dream. Is what it does. Throwing ad up for that right now. It's available only online, so you have to contact me directly,
Oh,
and I can get that for you. It takes about 2 to 4 months for me to produce, and then another 2 to 4 months for me to ship. So
Seems a little suspicious, but anyways.
yeah.
really, your pre-orders in now. Anyway, back to the double stuffed Oreos, Ben
I think
or Nate.
go.
Okay. I feel like besides like the double stuffed Oreos enticing you kind of thing, I think the normal person would just be like, oh yeah, seeing extra cream and stuff, I want that. Like I'm gonna buy that. And I think
People love extra.
I think other designers know that, and that's why like our whole job is predicting what
People like.
what people like and what people are into,
Yeah.
like what they're gonna do, like what's their next move.
Like yeah. It's one thing that
It's one big chess game,
everyone knows that everyone likes more, and everyone likes more of more
like a bang
free-
for your buck kind of thing.
Yeah. Another thing that everyone knows is everyone knows that sex sells.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
those
Whoa.
when I think of like the food and sex, kind of like not like
They're
that.
the same
but-
thing, kind of.
Right. Yeah. But I mean like.
Well, yeah,
marketing.
they make like food commercials like seductive. And stuff.
Exactly, and this whole thing with the green M&M,
Yeah.
them sexualizing the green M&M is like insane to me, but it works.
It works. I mean, look at that green M&M.
Whoa!
Whoa,
Hey,
Ben, why'd you say that?
Oh, okay.
I remember seeing a Super Bowl commercial back in I think like 2012 or 2013. And they had some like supermodel eating
chili cheese dog.
no, it was eating like a Hardee's
Nacho
burger or
Grande?
something.
Oh.
And she was like biting into it really slowly and stuff, and she's like wearing revealing clothes.
Mm.
And that's exactly what we're talking about, is where both sex and food sell.
Combined.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a whole other market for that, but that's
Yeah.
a different topic completely that we can't talk about, I think. So
I mean, we can talk about it at a different time.
yeah, different episode.
Wait. I think I'm getting a phone call. Hold on.
Okay, yeah. It's really unprofessional that we're in the middle of a podcast getting a phone call.
Mute your phone, I tell
Mute
you.
your phone I always
It's a-
do.
It was a sponsor. It was a sponsor.
Oh, it's a sponsor.
Oh,
Who was
oh.
sponsor? Who sponsor? Who
It's the
sponsor?
Stewart Brothers.
Oh my
Stewart
God,
Brothers.
Stewart Brothers.
Oh
They
my
call.
way.
What is their slogan again?
We drill.
We drill you.
We drill you.
We drill you pay. We drill
Yeah,
you
we
pay.
drill you
pay.
So they're a construction company that is new in the area, and we just got a sponsor from them.
We
That's
like
awesome.
to sponsor our smaller businesses.
yeah, we love to
Along
help
with big ones.
Support them.
we love to help support them
Give
when
us
they
money.
support us. So Stewart Brothers, thank you, and thank you to also Mountain Dew, Powerade, Dream Cream, Oreos, and Flower Boy. Yeah. And I think that just about wraps up this episode of Sock It To Me. Oh, Ben. Okay.
You did it wrong, Travis. Come on.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was
Sock It To
Sock It
Ya.
To
Sock It To
Ya.
Ya.
Oh, sorry. I thought
Not me.
Not
ya.
me.
Okay, sorry. Yeah,
Oh
we'll
my
be
goodness.
back next week
Oh.
with a new episode.
Oh,
And I think we're talking.
Oh.
We'll be back next week with a new episode. Make sure to check in and join us next time. Available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Craigslist. So thank you so much for watching and listening and following along. We hope you follow us on all social media platforms as well. And you know what they say.
I'll sock it to you.
I'll sock it to you. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Woo! Woo! Ah!